So this was my surprise to you guys. Reviews.
Good.
All right, so we completed 8 chapters. Now in chapter 23, we're going to have reviews from chapter 1 through 8. Once we get to chapter 16, we're going to do reviews of chapter 9 through 15 and so on. Okay? So this is to get you guys ready. Yeah, I know. They just set the AC and left. There's nobody here in the building to change it. And I can't control it, so I'm sorry. That's why I opened the door to see if maybe more can close out a little bit.
More control.
Right? That's it. All right, so I'm going to explain to you guys how this works, how I like to do this. And it's very simple. It's like a game. I'm going to go through the question slowly. I'm going to give you an example here. Do not answer, okay? It's just, let me show you how it goes. I'll read it to you. Someone who lives outside of New Jersey can be licensed as a non-resident broker if he or she, and that, do not answer. And now I'm going to show you the answers. Posts a bond for $5,000. Is a citizen of the United States. Finds a New Jersey sponsor or consents to be sued in New Jersey. Once I reach the last answer, okay, that's when you raise your hand. And whoever raises their hand first gets the answer. Go, Nancy. D, consents to be sued in the States. So, do not write on it. Do not highlight. In fact, close your books. Oh.
You can give back to them later.
So you can get back to them later. What I want you to use is a separate piece of paper. Okay? Ah. You thought I gave you a notebook just because? That's it. Now, I never want you guys to write the answers at the end of the chapters. Because if you have to go test yourselves again, you already got the answers there. So write on a separate piece of paper. That's why you got a notebook to take notes and to write down the tests you do. Simple. So we got number 1 out of the way. Make sure your books are closed. 310. It's chapter 23 anyway. Okay? So this is to figure out where you are. Now, a few things I want to give you as a heads up. It doesn't matter if you're right or if you're wrong. If you're wrong, hey, now you know you're wrong. If you're right, congratulations, you're right. Simple as that. There's no pressure here. Okay, this is not you have to pass today in order to move on to the next chapters. It doesn't really matter. Right now, just answer. And the one that answers the most gets a prize. Okay? I'll tell you later. All right, you guys ready? Okay. So, by the time she receives her broker's license, remember, you can only answer when you reach the last answer, okay? By the time she receives her broker's license, Heather had studied real estate for at least A, 75 hours, B, 90 hours, you're disqualified right away, C, 165 hours, or D, 225 hours. Mina. D, 225 hours. Here's what I got to say. If you raise your hand before I finish, you cannot answer at all. You're disqualified for that particular answer. You know why I'm doing this? Because when you're in the state exam, you tend to answer too quick without reading properly. So I'm preparing you guys for the exam. Simple.
No race.
Sorry?
No race.
No race?
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
you got
saying
up to 4 hours.
Answer the question.
You have up to 4 hours, so absolutely. Yeah. Next. In New Jersey, real estate licenses are administered by A, the local board of realtors, B, the real estate commission, C, the Department of Commerce, or D, the Bureau of Subdivided Land Control? Nancy.
B, real estate commission.
Real Estate Commission. B. Good. Easy so far, right? So far. Yeah. Next. The authorized broker for a real estate company is officially called the A, broker salesperson, B, realtor, C, supervisor, or D, broker of record. Nancy,
D, broker of
I
record.
thought maybe.
you're disqualified because you raised your hand before I finished.
I'll wait after you said B.
No,
Alright.
you gotta wait until I'm done reading. Guys, even though it's a competition here, okay, I'm seeing clearly who answers like that before it's even done. I'm telling you, doesn't matter how good you are. You could ace everything in class. You get to that state exam and you answer like that, you will fail because there's always two very similar answers. And if you go at the first one that pops, you will fail. Guaranteed or your money back. Okay? Trying to get you guys ready for it. So be patient with me. Next. 5. Licensing fee for a beginning salesperson, including application fee, criminal history check, and guarantee fund fee is A, $75, B, $160, C, $270, or D, $288.
B.
B, $160. All right, we got a participant from home. A little delay, okay. All right, Brian, I see you. All right. 6, a broker may agree to share commission with A, any licensed salesperson, B, a mortgage broker, C, a friend who refers a seller, or D, any licensed broker. Nancy.
A.
D.
D, any licensed broker. We can only share commission with brokers. Any licensed person. So I'm the broker here at Remax, and Mina is a salesperson for Weicker. I can pay him? No, but I can pay his broker.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
I can pay my associates, but then if it's out of the office, it's between brokers. So any licensed broker I can pay. Okay? 7, a broker must deposit clients' or customers' deposits in A, separate bank account for each person's money, B, the broker's business account, not a personal account, C, a trust or escrow account, or D, the broker's file with real estate commission. Go, Malik.
C there.
C, trust account or escrow account.
He paused at that.
I did it on purpose. All right, cool. At least you're having fun. That's what matters. All right. 8. A licensed salesperson is allowed to prepare a contract for A, shopping plaza, B, 1 family to 4 family residences, C, any real estate, or D, single houses only. Cousin? C, any real estate? No.
B.
B, 1 to 4 family residences. Remember, not any real estate, because we cannot prepare contracts for commercial. We cannot prepare contracts for industrial. We cannot prepare contracts for multiple lots. Only 1 to 4 family residence and single vacant lots. So out of the options, only B would be correct. We can participate in the sale and negotiations and all that stuff, but we don't prepare sales contracts. We only do so for 1 to 4 family. Very important. Nine. Continue education requires how many classroom hours? A, 12. B, 14. You're laughing today. Wait until we get to the next review. C, 16 for salespeople and 4 for brokers. Or D, none for long-time brokers who are exempted.
A.
Should raise first. 12 hours. CE credits, 12 hours. Good. Ten. A broker who mixes personal money with funds in a trust account is guilty of A, revocation, B, guilty knowledge, C, escrow, or D, commingling. Malek,
I'm not sure. D?
not sure D? No. I mean,
B.
that's a funny way of raising your hand when you got the hood, like that. I don't know if you're going to fight me, if you're going to pray. I'm not sure which one is going to go. Which one?
B.
Guilty knowledge. No. Somebody already got the answer. I was just messing.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
Because you guys are doubting yourselves.
Yes, I know.
Why are you doubting yourselves?
It's a.
It's.
Commingling.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that word.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to look it up. I was like, what is commingling? Yeah.
The reason why I said no is because Malek was like,
Not sure.
Tell me about it.
You said,
But you
said, oh, I'm
answered
not
right.
sure.
And you answered the right question.
yeah.
Guess what you answered right.
Okay, so the Chinese word is mixing. So commingling,
Commingling.
Chinese is mixing. Yes. 11. All sales contracts prepared by licensees must A, contain the Attorney General memorandum against discrimination. B, contain the notice to buyer and seller. C, contain the waiver of broker cooperation form. Or D, mention the buyer's purchase of insurance. You're not smiling now.
A.
Betty? No.
B.
B, contain notice to buyer and seller. So why is it not A? Because it's not a listing contract, it's a sales contract. The Attorney General memorandum must only be given at the time of listing, because you're telling the seller, I must show the property to anybody that's qualified to buy, regardless of their race, color, religion, national origin, and so on, right? The notice to buyer and seller, B, is very similar to the CIS. Okay, this was on chapter 3. We talked about it, where the disclosal agent is when you give a notice to the buyer and seller that you represent the other party as well, in addition to the CIS. Okay? So the correct answer for 11 is B. 12. Any changes to a document after the initial signing should be initialed by all parties, filed in public records, okayed by the broker of record, or submitted to the parties' attorneys.
B.
Nope.
A.
Initialed by all parties. So if there's any changes to a contract, everybody must acknowledge it somehow. So at least you have to have it initialed by the parties, that they agree to the terms. And then it might be given to attorneys at that point, but I have to initial that I'm okay with the change, and then let our attorneys review if you want. Okay? Any changes to contracts, initials. 13. A licensee working as a transaction broker serves as an agent for the buyer, the seller, the real estate commission, or no one. Go. D. No one. Because you're representing the transaction itself, not the seller, not the buyer. Transaction itself. Very good. 14. A broker salesperson may sponsor an applicant for a salesperson license, work as a salesperson under supervision of another broker, collect his or her own real estate fees, or act as a broker of record. I mean,
Work B.
B, work as a salesperson under the supervision of another broker. Very good. All right. Some of you are not answering at all. Why? Alexandra? Yanitza?
I do, you don't say anything to me.
You take too long. She has her hands like it's so cold. I'm going to install buzzers by the table so that you like buzz.
That's right.
Right? 15. Don't forget, whether you're right or wrong, it's about having fun right now. Okay? 15. Losing land by erosion is the opposite of gaining land through avulsion, accretion, reliction, or hereditament. Ooh.
B.
Accretion. B. Correct. You both were like, my peripheral vision is very good.
She's like this though. I feel a little bit more happy.
Hey, hand went up. All right, next one. Personalty is also known as real property, littoral rights, trade fixtures, or chattels.
Hey,
And
I know. Can I go again?
No.
Alright.
I mean,
It's a D.
D, chattels, because personalty is the same as personal property. And chattel, like cattle, is movable, therefore personal property. Very good. 17. Real property can be changed to personal property through the process known as severance, accession, conversion, or alluvium. Gotta raise the hand.
C.
Conversion? Nope. I mean,
It's a B.
nope. I mean, there's not many more options. A, severance. Severance means cut off. Severance means cut off. So real property was fixed. Remember the tree while we were reading? There's a tree, that's real property. We cut it off, so we sever it from the earth. It becomes personal property. Accession? Where did you get accession from? Did we ever talk about accession? No. Conversion, I got maybe from a different thing, which is the mixing, commingling conversion, right? But this, you were sending because you got the hoodie on. All right. 18. Intent of the parties and method of attachment are two tests of A, chattel, B, fixture, C, trade fixture, or D, improvement. Why are you guys slowing down? Intent of the parties and method of attachment are two tests of chattel, fixture, trade fixture, or improvement.
It's a B.
Fixture, Maria, method of attachment, right? Relationship of the parties, the intention of the party annexing the item, and the annexation of or adaptation of the article. So yes. Fixture. There are 4 tests. These are 2 of them. 19. Trait fixtures differ from regular fixtures in that they are removable, permanently affixed, property of the landowner, or considered part of real estate. Trait fixtures. Yes. A. Removable. Because they are business personal property, therefore removable. Very good. See, I mean, it's catching up. You guys are slowing down. What's going on?
I'm giving it a chance.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I love those. All right. Tom's attorney assures him that no one else has claim to the real estate that Tom is buying, and that he has complete bundle of rights in the property. Tom is receiving a fee simple estate, leasehold estate, life estate, or fee determinable estate. That's A, fee simple estate. It's simple, it's yours, there's no rules. Nobody else has a claim. All right. Donna deeds her vacation cottage to her elderly uncle with a provision that at his death, Donna will automatically become the owner again. During his lifetime, Donna owns a remainder interest, reversionary interest, life estate, or dower estate. Okay, this is tough.
C.
Nope.
A.
Nope. Uh-huh.
Oh,
B.
reverts back to it.
Reverts back, so she has a reversionary interest.
Obviously, the remainder man.
See, look, remainder is if it was a third party.
Oh.
And I guess
Is there a third party here?
Rose
No, it's
like-
Donna and the uncle.
Donna has.
They're asking not what the uncle has, but what Donna has. If they asked about the uncle, then you would have C, a life estate. But they're asking about Donna, and Donna owns a reversionary interest. Property might come back to her, or will come back to her at one point. Hey Brian, you got a big delay over there, man.
You still number 16?
No, he just answered 20 right now, but
Who's cheating? That's what.
he's cheating. That's what it is.
You already got the answer.
All right. 22. A mortgage is a type of A, general lien, B, encroachment, C, voluntary lien. See those hands start moving. Or D, license. All right, Nancy.
A.
Nope.
See?
C.
C. That's what you're going to say too?
Yes,
Yes, it is voluntary.
Voluntary. It's not generally voluntary. You ask for it.
That's what you're asking for.
Yeah.
It's an easy one.
Huh? What are we doing, right? All right. If a husband owns a family home in his home name, husband owns the family home in his own name, he can sell it without his wife's signature if he bought it before they were married, he bought it before May 28, 1980, his wife owns the property of equal value in her own name, or they live in some other state but not in New Jersey. Doesn't. Nope.
No.
B.
Nope.
No. C.
Nope.
D.
What?
No.
Well, the only other option is D.
It's
I know.
No.
D.
D?
You can't take place in D.
In New Jersey, if it's the family home, doesn't matter if it's before May 28, 1980 or after May 28, 1980, both must sign.
Yep.
Didn't I stop and say that a bunch of times?
Yeah, you did.
If it's the family home, primary
That's what I said.
residence,
But not in.
not in New Jersey.
So Jersey doesn't have, no problem? I mean, if they.
No.
In Jersey, you have to.
In Jersey, you have to. In another state, there might be an exemption for that, where you can sell without the wife's signature or the husband's signature.
That's the thing.
Oh.
So they saying in New Jersey you have to.
Yeah.
Some other states, but not.
That's the question that I asked you.
Place.
Even if I bought the house with my money,
It's a
you said
confusion.
if she washes the dishes, whatever the case is, she has to pay for it.
Well, that's an investment property. But if it's a main marital residence, it doesn't matter. You can buy with your own money, it belongs to both, if it's the main marital residence. In another state, it might be different. But in Jersey, both must sign regardless. All right, tricky, I know. If a parcel of real estate has two mortgages on it, priority is given to the one first drawn up, signed, notarized, or recorded. Oh, Nancy.
D recorded.
D, recorded.
Oh, it's cold and nice. Come on, Nancy.
I don't know, you look like you're very athletic, but you take too long, man.
Nah, it's just, I'm a little sore.
Thinking.
You're a little sore? All right. 25. The term conveying property means having it surveyed, transferring ownership, put the hand down, mortgaging it, or tacking usage.
D.
B as in boy, transferring ownership. Very good. Sorry? Not Nancy, no. Not this time. 26. Ownership of real estate by one person alone is known as severalty, tenancy in common, survivorship, or D, sole proprietorship. Malek, what is it?
B.
By one person alone. I mean,
It's number
A, severalty. You're disqualified because you're raising it before. I'm sorry. Good, he says. What kind of competition is this? It's supposed to be healthy. Don't know, like good. You. 27. The buyer of a condominium apartment receives proprietary lease, individual property tax bill, stock that is considered personal property, or life estate. I mean,
It's B.
B, an individual property tax bill. What if it said co-op? What would be the answer? A, because they get a proprietary lease. Very good. 28. I charge $5 to watch. I'm joking. You could come back. It's like they're watching. So. Anyway, I'm glad you guys can take a joke. Mr. and Mrs. Brown buy a home together soon after they are married, with nothing specific stated in the deed about their ownership. Mr. Brown, who paid for the house, is killed in a car crash. I know. Mrs. Brown now owns the whole house only if Mr. Brown left his half to her in his will. Nothing because she furnished none of the purchase price herself. The whole house in severalty, or half with her children owning the other half. Oof, easy. He got hurt on that one. Give it to him because of that? All right.
It's C.
Why?
No. Because if they're married and he died, regardless of what he did, he didn't sign because they're married, state of New Jersey. It's
Yep, that's right. They're married. So it works the same way as a joint tenancy with a right of survivorship. Okay? So when one person dies, husband and wife, right? One dies, the other one acquires the right automatically because it's their home.
They the husband or wife comes before the judge in that case.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Now, either co-owner may go to court and ask the property be divided, except in the case of tenants in common, joint tenants, life tenants, or tenants by the entirety. Go. Nancy.
B?
B as in boy? No.
Oh, wait, ooh. Gosh,
Oh gosh, it's gone.
I go.
Well, you're
Hey.
the second one with the hand up. Hey? Wrong.
It's a D.
Yes.
Tenants by the entirety. Yes.
The entirety of it.
Because husband and wife cannot sue each other to divide the property except in a divorce. We don't sue because of one property. We sue because of the whole divorce, everything. Very good. All right. The Smiths bought their home on the ocean in 1954 for $17,000. This year, they decided to move to Florida, and they sold the house for $325,000. The IRS says their profit will be taxed as ordinary income, taxed as favorable capital gain rates, subject to tax on only $75,000, or completely free from any federal tax. I mean, you're gonna pull something. I don't know. I'm afraid.
It's a B.
D as in David, you're saying?
No, B is a boy.
D as in David is what you're saying?
No, B is a boy.
Anybody else? Nancy?
D.
D as in David is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Completely free from any federal tax. Why are they going to be paying favorable tax capital gains rates? It's their home.
They're not making profit out of it?
They are making profit, but it's their home.
Oh, okay. So, oh.
We just had this. This is the last thing we covered. They're exempt
Oh.
if they're married, filing jointly, up to $50,000. You got it? $31. New Jersey offers partial exemptions from property taxes to eligible veterans, single mothers, government employees, or widows. A, veterans. Why are you answering without me calling your name, Nancy? A special assessment is a form of property tax used to pay for deficit in a town's or county budget, one-time tax on transfer of real estate, building fund for a school or library, or improvements like sidewalks in a certain area.
It's D.
Correct answer is D. Improvement like sidewalks in a certain area. Next one. You guys need calculators. Jerry's home is worth $160,000 and his town assessment runs at 60% of market value. If the rate is 37 mils, how much is the property tax bill? Have fun. I'm not showing the answers on this. That would be too easy.
You're doing the math.
Why not?
She's smart.
What?
She's smart.
You can do it on the top of their head.
No, guys, please. I'm not.
Okay. I already got my answer.
What is it?
I'll tell you in a second. Remember, are taxes based on
Mills.
fair market value or they're based on assessed value?
Assessed value
So you got to figure out first what is the assessed value.
is 60%.
Correct. And then you have to apply the tax rate, which is 37 mils. How much is 1 mil? 1/1000 of a dollar. So 0.001 is 1 mil. There's 37 mils. You guys ready? Is the answer A, 592, B, 2,368, C, 3,552, or D, 5,920? What is it?
I said C.
C, as in Charlie, 3,552.
Would you be able to just...
Absolutely. For an additional $500, I illustrate. So, the question was 160,000, right? This is the fair market value, and taxes are 6%. Tax assessment. Right? And 37 mils is the tax rate. What is a tax bill? So the first thing we need to figure out is what is the assessed value? So it's 60% of the 160, right? So that is 96,000, right?
Right.
And this is the assessed value. And then we apply the tax rates. Now, the mil is 1/1000 of a dollar, or 0.001. That means that 37 mils is 0.037. Right? So the calculation now is 96,000 times 0.037, which is 3,552. Got it? Questions? No. All right. Next we have 34. The lien with priority on a given parcel of real estate would usually be A, a mortgage recorded 5 years ago, B, mortgage recorded this year, C, the current year's property taxes, or D, a judgment filed 4 years ago. Nancy?
B.
The lien with priority on the given parcel of real estate would usually be, Betty?
gonna be the, A.
Nope.
It's
Oh,
a
the
deed,
judgment.
A judgment filed.
Nope.
C.
The only thing left, C. What did I say? Taxes first. Always.
Oh, gosh.
You know what throws you off? Is that it says current tax bill, right? Taxes first. Always. Then, by order, it would have been A, then D, and then B. You got it?
Yeah.
35. Redlining is defined as steering home seekers to a particular neighborhood, drawing red lines on the local map indicating where the agent wants to look for listings, denying or restricting loans in a certain neighborhood, or a zoning procedure. Redlining is defined as, Betty?
C.
C, denying or restricting loans in a certain neighborhood. Redlining. There's blockbusting, there's steering, there's redlining. Redlining is about rejecting loans or insurance. So anytime you see restricting or rejecting loans or insurance, that's redlining. "36. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 prohibits any type of discrimination based on race and color. Prohibits discrimination in federal-related funded housing. Allows an exception for an owner-occupied two-family house, or does not apply to non-licensed persons." Like A. Why?
Race and color.
Right away. 1866, race and color, period. Don't even look at anything else. Okay? That was easy, right? 37. Federal civil rights legislation forbids housing discrimination based on political affiliation, source of income, country of origin, or prison record. Federal civil rights. Betty?
D.
Nope. Forbids housing discrimination. You cannot discriminate.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, you went for the opposite.
You know it.
Trust me. C, country of origin. In 1968, they added religion and national origin to race and color. So country of origin. We don't discriminate based on source of income. Right? Of course we can.
Well, not in this question.
Political affiliation, doesn't matter. Prison record. Right? I can discriminate. Of course I can. 38. Although a property owner may be exempted sometimes from discrimination laws, a real estate licensee is exempt only if he or she is also the owner. B, can list the property for sale noting the exemption. C, can advertise the noted exemption. Or D, may not participate in the transaction in any way.
A.
It's B.
Ooh.
Oh, I get it.
But did
Oh,
you say
God.
D as in dog?
Who said D as in dog?
I
I'm
get it.
saying, is that
You
what
said D as in dog? No, you said B.
I meant
You meant D. Gotcha. D as in dog. If we're licensed, it doesn't matter if we're the owner or not. We cannot discriminate at all. Period. Okay?
You heard D, right?
I was hoping you said D for dog. That's why I used that.
All right. Using scare tactics regarding the possible change in the makeup of a neighborhood while soliciting listings is called redlining, steering, blockbusting, or harassment. Jocelyn.
B.
Ooh. C.
C. Scare tactics, panic peddling is blockbusting.
I get. When you said C meaning when I remember that example they put up with the Portuguese restaurant. If you want to live in an area that's Portuguese, you
Yep.
steer them in that.
But that's to try to avoid steering. Yeah. But in this case, scare tactics is always associated with panic, always associated with blockbusting. Okay. Do you remember Blockbuster? The rentals? What was the good thing about Blockbuster compared to other movie rental places? They had the latest and greatest, right? So whatever came out of the movies would go first to Blockbuster. That was the thing that they had, right? It's the same thing with Black Friday. Black Friday is if you don't come here now, you're going to lose out on a deal. You might get killed, but you might get the deal. You know, it's like it's panic. It's creating that rush. It's blockbusting. You got it? 40. Mrs. Townsend is advertising for a tenant for the other half of her home. Which of these ads will violate fair housing laws? No pets, no smokers, no children, or none of the above?
No children.
No children. Okay? Everything else, no pets or no smokers, do not violate anything, and none of the above is disqualified by A and B. So if you were going by process of elimination, that'll be it. 41. Which of the following is permitted under the Federal Fair Housing Act? A. Advertising for sales suitable for a special ethnic group, altering the terms of a loan for a member of minority race, refusing to sell a home to a foreign-born home seeker because of poor credit history, or telling nervous owners in a changing neighborhood to sell before their houses lose value.
D.
Nope.
What you said?
He said D as in David. Johnson?
A.
Nope. You're just going at it like...
Pause it for a second.
All right, let me go over it again real quick. Alexander, what did you answer?
C.
C. Which of the following is permitted, allowed under Federal Fair Housing Act? When can you discriminate? A says advertising for sales suitable for a specific ethnic group. Race and color. No. Can't. Altering the terms of a loan for a member of a minority race. No, we cannot. The last one, telling nervous owners in changing neighborhoods, is that blockbusting? Definitely not. But C says refusing to sell a home to a foreign-born, so that's national origin, and you're like, no, so can't, right? But did you read the rest?
See, it's like a
Because of poor credit history. It's not because they're from a different country. It's because their credit history is bad. You got it?
Yeah.
So again, it's not about where they came from. It's because of income or credit. It's okay. Tricky, right? You see why you have to read everything? Okay. (42) New Jersey law against discrimination adds to protected classes under federal fair housing law: members of political parties, people with prison records, welfare recipients, or marital status. New Jersey law against discrimination adds to protected classes under federal fair housing law: members of political parties, people with prison records, welfare recipients, or marital status. A. Nope.
It's C.
Nope. Nelson?
Commercial status.
Marital status. If you go back to page 54, there's a table there that says New Jersey covers everything, including marital status. So they're adding to it. Members of political parties, why would we protect those?
No.
People with prison records, definitely not. Welfare, they are protected, but not as an addition to the law against discrimination. It's marital status. That's what they added to it. Okay? 43. For some specifically retained as buyers brokers. Someone specifically retained as buyers brokers. Sellers would be in the position of A, clients, B, principals, C, customers, or D, employers.
D.
Employers? No.
Employees.
No.
B.
No. All right. I paused several times. Let me read again. For someone, listen to me. Don't look over there. Listen to me. For someone specifically retained as a buyer's broker. Who do I represent if I'm a buyer's broker?
Client.
Who do I represent if I'm the buyer's broker?
The buyer.
The buyer. So the buyer is my
Principal.
client, principal. Yes. They're asking, who's the seller?
Customer.
Customer. C. Okay? Read the question properly. Pay attention to the questions. If they asked about the buyer, then it's all of those except C. But they're asking about the seller. So the seller is the customer, is the person you don't represent. You got it? Questions? Good. 44. And we're almost done. There's only 50, okay? A broker's principal is the one who pays the commission, is the seller, hires the agent, or brings about the meeting of the minds. 44.
A.
Nope.
D.
Nope.
Oh,
No, it's a C.
C.
yes.
Hires the agent.
Hires the agents. A broker's principal, we just addressed that in the previous question. If I'm hired by the buyer is my principal, my client. If I'm hired by the seller, the buyer is my principal, my client. Pays the commission, Mina. Didn't I say several times? It's based on the contractual agreement. Who pays the commission? If you're hired by the buyer, most of the times the seller is the one that pays. Okay? So, the broker's principal is not who pays you, but who hires you. Always. Gotta remember that. I see the smiles going away.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, they're like, this is easy, I got it. And I was like,
So it is.
okay.
No, read the question.
In New Jersey, the broker who wishes to offer services without owing fiduciary duties to either the buyer or the seller is allowed to function as transaction broker, broker's agent, independent contractor, or attorney in fact. Nancy.
A.
Transaction broker. Very good. A seller's broker is legally bound to disclose information to a potential buyer about a latent defect, such as previous suicide on the property, rock band that rents a neighboring house, the fact that the seller has AIDS, or unused buried oil tank in the backyard. I mean, listen,
A.
you don't have to go like that. I see your arm flying somewhere when you do that. Okay. Correct answer is
A.
no.
I got it.
How are we talking about that?
We did talk about
Hey,
it.
go ahead.
Okay.
D.
D. Unused buried oil tank in the backyard.
Because you can't see it with the next.
We cannot talk about suicides or anything like that. It's not a physical condition of the property. A latent defect is something that's hidden in the property. Okay? Out of these, what's hidden in the property? Unused buried oil tank. All right. The listing broker must advise a seller about the firm's plan to hold open houses, share or not share commission with another broker who produces the buyer, reveal confidential information to other brokers, or withhold information about felonies committed on the premises. Nancy?
See?
Nope.
Hey,
No.
It's got to be D.
No.
No?
Wah, wah, wah.
oh, the listing book about the seller, about,
Who's the listing broker?
Yeah.
The one that represents the seller.
Right.
So I got to tell the seller how I'm going to use your money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if I'm splitting commission with somebody else in the MLS, I'm saying, hey, I'm giving 3% to all buyers. What if I put 2%? What if I put 1%? If I put 1%, is it in the seller's best interest? No, because nobody's going to look at it. So the seller must know exactly how his or her money is being spent. Okay? Commission split. Okay? Next. 48. A broker would need the seller's permission to advertise most beautiful house in town, handyman special, just listed, or try bidding low. Oh, your hand was going up, right? So confident. She's like, I got this.
oh, I got it.
Yes.
C.
Nope.
I thought you were
D.
saying-
Try
D.
it. Imagine that.
Guys, come on. Most beautiful house in town? Yeah, let's advertise that. No problem. It's falling apart, but it's my opinion that it's the most beautiful, or it could be the most beautiful house in town. Handyman special, just needs some work. It's fine, right? Just listed? Yes, I'm going to put just listed because I want people to look at it. But I need the seller's permission to tell buyers, bid low. You got it? Seller's permission. 49. If the buyers confide to a listing agent that will offer, pay attention, if the buyer confides to the listing agent that will offer $250,000, but if they don't take it, we are willing to or prepared to go higher. The agent's duty is to remind the buyers that the seller's agent owes them no duty of confidentiality, keep information to himself or herself, help persuade the seller to accept the offer or refuse to draw up the purchase offer.
See?
No. Who do we represent?
Oh.
Oh. Who do we represent?
The buyer.
If the buyer confides to a listing agent, who does the listing agent represent?
So,
Seller.
So,
So it's what?
D.
No.
Hey,
you guys gotta read the question.
Remind
Hey,
the buyer.
you guys are not reading the question. Hey,
Seller.
do we owe any duties to the buyer?
No, seller.
So why would I refuse the offer? I have to present any offer. So D cannot be. I have to present any offers. Right? Help persuade the seller? Definitely not, because I represent the seller in the seller's best interest. If the buyer tells me that they have more money, it is my duty to tell the seller, hey, they got more money. Because I represent the seller. Keep information confidential? Definitely not. So my job is to tell the buyer, hey, listen, I'm glad you told me that, but just so you know, I represent the seller. So I will put in the offer, but I might tell the seller, or will tell the seller, that you have more money. Do you understand? I don't represent you, so I owe nothing to you. I owe to the seller. So listing agent represents the seller. The duties are to seller. Got it? And 50. Says here, the listing agent who tells sellers that commission rates are standard in this community is in violation of the New Jersey real estate licensing law, National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics, Sherman Antitrust Act, or Offsite Conditions Disclosure Act? Betty?
C.
C. Sherman Antitrust Act. Very good. What do you guys think about this? We're done. What do you think about it?
We have to review.
You have to review,
Yes.
but is it helpful?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
To get an idea of how the questions are asked.
Well, but you have to pay attention of how I read as well. Everywhere that I pause, there's a reason for the pause.
It's a key point.
I'm sorry?
A key point.
A key
Yeah.
point, yeah. So make sure when you read your questions, it's very important that you do exactly as I did. Don't answer because you saw A and that's it. No. Read the question, understand it. A, B, C, D, and then read it again and answer. Very, very important. You guys got it? All right? Awesome. And you guys have a great weekend.